Good morning students, I welcome you all for the online class of economics. Today we will be going to learn the different forms, methods of fixing poverty line in India. As we already learned the different types of poor, different types of poverty, now we will be deciding how the poverty line is decided. What is poverty line, student? A line which will a particular limit, after crossing that below that the person is considered poverty line, and above that is crossed poverty line. So different forms, method of fixing poverty line can be we will be knowing. As last class we learned relative and absolute poverty, now we will be going to learn different norms, methods of fixing poverty line. Various attempts have been made to develop a scale to measure poverty of them are as follows, student. Very first, Dadabhai Naoroji method of poverty line calculation. Dadabhai Naoroji's jail cost of living in pre-independent Dadabhai Naoroji was the first to measure poverty, student. He used the jail cost of living to calculate the poverty line. He used the menu for a prisoner and used appropriate prevailing prices to arrive at the cost of consumption of an adult prisoner. That's why this is known as jail cost of living, because he had seen the menu means what the meals was provided, and to the as compared to adult prisoner, what the way the other prisoners are getting the food, that way he had consumed and compared the poverty line. 1/3 population consisted of children. Out of this, half of them consumed very little, while the other half consumed half of the adult diet. So that way, if we are seeing the poverty line of the children living in the jail, 2/3 population consisted of adults. Adults consume full diet. So this is the way how the Jawaharlal Dadabhai Naoroji had made the jail cost of living of way of deciding the poverty line, student. What is poverty line? It is defined on the basis of recommended nutritional requirement of 2400 calories per person per day for rural areas and 2100 calories for urban areas. If the people is not able to achieve this much calorie in different areas, then their person will be considered as poverty line. The poverty line has been defined in terms of food poverty. On the basis of MPCE, it is at rupees 328 per person per month in rural areas and rupees 454 per person per month in urban areas. That is also a way of deciding the poverty line. Now the next method of deciding the poverty line is task force on projection of minimum needs and effective consumption, in which we have learned the meaning now only the poverty line. Effective consumption demand way, student, it is a method in which we decide the poverty line people coming according to the calories intake. So let us see what is this. In post-independent era, several attempts were made to identify the number of poor in the country. In 1979, Task Force on Project Minimum Needs and Effective Consumption Demand was formed. Determined poverty line in terms of minimum nutritional level of energy required for subsistence. It is expressed in terms of minimum day intake of calories. Thus, poverty line is defined on the basis of recommended intake nutritional requirement of 2400 calories per person per day for rural areas and 2100 calories for urban areas. The poverty line has been defined in terms of food poverty. So this is another method, student, how to decide about the person who is coming below the poverty line. So this is task force on projection of minimum intake and needs and effective consumption demand method. Next is monthly per capita consumption expenditure method. According to this method of poverty line calculation, cost purchasing the consumption basket, which would provide the minimum calorie intake, is estimated by using the prices indices separately for rural and urban area. This gives us the per capita consumption expenditure for the rural and urban areas, which is needed to ensure the minimum calorie intake. This minimum monthly per capita consumption expenditure forms the poverty line. The Planning Commission had worked out this cost at rupees 356 per person per month in rural areas and rupees 539 per person per month in urban areas. Thus, those persons whose monthly consumption expenditure is less than rupees 356 in rural areas and rupees 539 in urban areas areas are considered below the poverty line and are classified as poor. The limitation of this method of MPC is that it groups all the poor together. It does not tell about the category of the poor people. To calculate MPCE, the consumption expenditure on food and few other items are included. It ignores many other items which are associated with poverty like basic education, sanitation, safe drinking water, etc. Now comes magnitude and nature of poverty, student. The degree of poverty. It is very difficult to find the degree of poverty, the magnitude, the height of the poverty, but still a study is made to learn the magnitude and nature of poverty. Head count ratio measures number of poor as a proportion of people living below the poverty line. In India, the official data on poverty is made available by the Planning Commission. It is estimated on the basis of household consumption expenditure, data collected by the National Sample Survey Organization, NSSO. So these two ways we have forwarded the poverty line as follows: the poverty ratio and number of poor. Can we count the number of poor? It is very difficult because maximum population of our country is poor. As per the latest estimate of poverty by the Planning Commission based on 61st round of NSSO covering the period from 1993 to 94 to 2004 to 5, there was a significant decline in the proportion of people living below poverty line in the last 2 decades. Poverty ratio and number of people below poverty line can be calculated by these following ways. You can see the poverty ratio, it is declining, number in millions is decreasing. Now, why? Because after getting the poverty line knowledge, government had provided many remedies and help to these people to come out from the situation of poverty, like employment generation, midday meals. Many schemes has been taken to reduce the number of poor and to increase their level of standard of living. Following patterns emerges according to Economic Survey 2007 and 8. Fewer Indians were living in poverty in 2004 and 5 than in 1999, 2010 years back. With 5 years back. With official data showing that poverty has declined by 4.3% during the period, there were still 238.5 million people living in less than desirable conditions. Poverty in India has declined to 21.8% in 2004 and 5 from 26.1% in 1999-2000. Rural-urban breakup of poverty. Following pattern emerges, the decline in poverty was comparatively much steep in rural areas, where the percentage of people living below poverty line fell to 21.8% from 27.1% 2000. In urban areas, percentage of people living below poverty line fell to 21.7% in 2004 and 5 from 23.6% in 1999-2000. The number of people living below poverty line was estimated at 238.5 million to 170.3 million in rural areas and 68.2 million in urban areas out of the over 1 billion population. So we are finding the government is acting to reduce the number of poverty so that our country can develop soon. Regional variation in incidence of poverty, student. Incidence of poverty varies from state to state. It is clear from the following points. Orissa is the poorest state with 39.9% of people living below the poverty line, followed by Jharkhand 34.8% and Bihar 32.5%. In absolute terms, when we see the number of people living below poverty line was 45.8 million in Uttar Pradesh, followed by Bihar and Maharashtra. Poverty level were low in Chandigarh, 3.8% people living below poverty line, Jammu and Kashmir 4.2% and Punjab 5.2%. In Delhi, 61.6 million people were living below poverty line, accounting for 10.2% of the national capital's population. Among the other major states, percentage of people living below poverty line was 15% in Assam, 12.5% in Gujarat, 9.9% in Haryana, 17.4% in Karnataka, 11.4% in Kerala and 32.4% in Madhya Pradesh, 17.5% in Rajasthan. So this was the ratio, student. It is telling a general estimation to know what was the population of poverty few years back and what is the condition now. Nature of poverty, when we talk, student, in the rural areas, Poor people are those who are landless agricultural laborer. Means there are farmers but they are not having their own piece of land to do the farming. Small and marginal farmers. In the urban area, poor people are those who are unemployed, underemployed or employed in low productivity occupation or at very low wages. They are considered as poor. Around 3/4 of the poor in India reside in rural areas. Also poor prevailing predominantly in rural areas has shifted to urban areas. So this is the nature of poverty. Now comes a new topic, student, vicious circle of poverty. What is vicious circle of poverty? It is defined as a situation of self-reinforcing forces in which there are certain factors that are related in a circular way and result in continuation of poverty and underdevelopment. So that is vicious circle of poverty, student. It is self-reinforcing forces to determine the level of poverty. The nooks, it is explained through the nooks, the phenomena of poverty in terms of vicious circle of poverty. According to Nooks, he said that it is a self-reinforcing force which there are certain factors that are related in a circular way. It is going on and creating the problem of poverty. As Nooks, its vicious circle of poverty implies a circular constellation of forces tending to act and react upon one another in such a way as to keep a poor country in a state of poverty. There are many kinds of vicious circle of poverty, student. Two main vicious circles of poverty are as follows. Very first is underdevelopment. Underdevelopment is just because low productivity. Low productivity results in low real income. Low real income, if income is low, saving will be less. Saving will be less. Investment will be less done. Investment will be less done. Capital deficiency will be there, and this capital deficiency finally will result again underdevelopment. So panel A and panel B, whenever we see it, realizes that the same thing will be going on. This is vicious circle of poverty. Panel A shows that in an underdeveloped country, total output is low. Why? It results in low real income. Consequently, people are able to save less, which implies low investment, and low investment results in low capital formation. A country with low capital investment will be underdeveloped, and the process gets repeated again and again. Panel B shows that in an underdeveloped country, productivity is low, which results in low real income. When people have less real income, demand falls. Consequently, investment falls as size of market has reduced. It results in capital deficiency and back to low productivity and low level of income. Causes of poverty, when we see, students, the major reasons of poverty are as follows. Very first, rapid population growth among the poor. A high rate of population growth in India, particularly among the poor, is responsible for the problem of poverty in the country. Population growth among poor people is high. It is going on increasing, which will not help us to reduce the number of poverty because of the illiteracy, traditional attitudes, lack of family planning, practices, preferences for the male child, etc. Clearly, with large size families and low income, they are unable to meet even the basic minimum needs of the family members. Unemployment and indebtedness, the second reason of having poverty. With 2 crore unemployed people in 2003 and 4, India is a grip of chronic unemployment. Very high employment rate is there. Underemployment rate is also high. It leads to lower output and hence lower income and heavy indebtedness. People, for fulfilling their need, they will take debt and debt, and this debt will create a situation of indebtedness for the people as well as for the country. So the problem of unemployment and indebtedness is making the problem of poverty more acute, more critical, you can say. Low rate of economic development. Low rate of economic development is a very important factor that has led to poverty. It implies low per capita income, which implies low standard of living. Low growth rate of per capita income has tended to sustain poverty. Low education. Definitely, one of the major reasons of having poverty is low education. Another major cause of poverty is the low level of education of the poor. Poor people are illiterate or semi-educated and therefore they can do only low paid jobs. This explains the lower levels of income among the poor. Illiterate farmers are not able to use modern method of farming. So this creates a situation of poverty again. Inflationary pressures. The steep and continuous rise in the prices, particularly of essential commodities, has added to the misuse of the miseries of the poor. Miseries of the poor. Sharp rise of price has led to fall in the real income of fixed and low income earners. This has led to fall in their purchasing power and thus in turn has led to low standard of living. So inflationary pressure is more the factor for the poverty. Social factors. Various social factors like caste system, like the caste systems and the girl child educations, these type of barriers are again creating the poverty. Joint family system, religious faith and belief, law of inheritance, etc. have hindered the process of economic growth. For example, farmers are orthodox. They do not want to change the new method of farming, which is much more specialized method for them. High level of migration from rural areas. In search of jobs, people migrate from one area to another area. Especially migration of people from rural area to urban area in search of job. This has increased the number of urban poverty. There will not get the job, but the urban area, the poor people number will increase. Failure to implement land reforms. Due to lack of political will, land reforms have not been efficiently implemented. It has resulted in more poverty in rural areas. So failure to implement land reforms is also a factor of poverty. Capital deficiency. Capital formation is a very important factor that can lead to economic growth and fall in poverty. In India, capital deficiency results in low production capacity and poverty. Globalization is another important factor of having poverty. It has pushed many households below poverty line. It is because the production of some of the most important staples had declined as agricultural land is used for production of export quality product, export crops after the onset of the globalization process. Also, liberalization has forced the small farmers to compete in a global market where prices of agricultural goods are very low. This is also a factor of having low productivity, low sale, low income, and the cause of poverty. Policies and programs to alleviate poverty. The next topic for our chapter is policies and programs to alleviate poverty. In this particular topic, student, it needs to be addressed on a war footing that what are the programs launched by the government to help the poverty, to reduce the poverty. Poverty is a multidimensional challenge for India, we all know. There are some general measures and special measures taken by the government to reduce the number of poverty. A country is caught in a vicious trap once poverty is inbuilt in the system. The government has followed three-dimensional poverty removal programs. These dimensions are: very first, the rate of economic growth should be raised. Economic growth can be raised helpful in removing poverty by trickle-down effect. It was felt that raised economic growth would benefit the underdeveloped region and the more backward sections of the society, student. So the rate of economic growth should be raised so that to reduce the number of poverty. It was felt by the government that raised economic growth would benefit the underdeveloped region to get more job opportunity for the people so as to reduce the number of poverty. Various beneficiary oriented programs need to be strengthened. For this, local institutions have to be involved in these programs. The activity should be organized on a cooperative basis between the government and the private sector. Major training programs should be taken up to improve the skill of potential workers, to provide minimum basic amenities. The provision of basic amenities should be made like water supply, sanitation, nutrition, etc. to the people. There are special programs to fight poverty and unemployment which are as follows, which we will be going to learn in the next class. Thank you for today's class. For this much only. The last topic, it is the special program to fight poverty and unemployment, in which many programs are there, students, which I will be explaining in the next video, and the chapter will get over. So this was the problem of poverty in India. After completing this chapter, we will be moving to human capital formation in India, our next chapter. Thank you for today's class. Have a nice day.